Good morning. This is Christina with White Mountain Endurance, and today I'm going to be talking about what is in my pack. So, I used to be a hiker, and I come from a mountaineering and hiking background, and my pack used to weigh probably 30 pounds for a day pack. On some of my trips, my pack would get up to over 100 pounds depending on what we were doing and where we were going and how long we'd be out there. I was always fascinated by these people running around the mountains with these tiny little packs, and I wondered what the heck is in their pack. How could they possibly be safe? I knew that when I had all that stuff in my pack, that if something were to happen, I would be able to survive. Definitely would have had a very long night in the woods, but I'd be comfortable. I'd have all sorts of hot food, plenty of water, sleeping bag, sleeping pad. So technically, I had like the Taj Mahal. As I started trail running and spending longer days in the mountains, I realized I could not move as quickly if I had a giant backpack on. So, what I did was started learning. And I've always enjoyed learning, taking classes. Wilderness first aid class was an amazing course to take because it actually taught me um, some things that I wanted to have in my pack that I probably didn't have at the time. And education ultimately is the key to being safe with anything that we do in life. So if you have any questions, feel free to pop them down below and I can answer them, or you can shoot me a message and I can also answer your questions that way. So I'll start by going over. I love the Solomon packs, and one of the reasons I love them is this super stretchy material is absolutely incredible for carrying all sorts of stuff. I feel like I can just keep stuffing this pack and I never have a problem with it. So I'll start by, I'll go through the pockets and then go to what's inside my pack. So tracker, depending on what I'm doing, especially if I'm solo, I love to have my Garmin InReach. Um, what's pretty cool about this thing is you can hook it up to your cell phone and you can send text messages. These things aren't 100% accurate, but it's better than nothing. And, if your watch fails you, it's a secondary way to actually track your workout, your run. But mostly it's a safety thing so that if something were to happen, you've got the SOS button. You can have pre-programmed messages. You can send a text message out. And when we're guiding guests, this is one of the key ways we communicate while we're out there, so that we know where we're at in the mountains. We can send messages back and forth. And I feel like it's a great safety tool and a wonderful communication device in places where communication is very hard. Um, they're not the cheapest thing in the world, and they do have, I think it's like 20 bucks a month I pay. But the peace of mind that I have and the ability to end up communicating with people via satellite by using my cell phone is amazing. I don't use the social media function, but there is an option if you like to post stuff on social media while you're on the trail. You can do that with this tracker. I like the little carabiner. I tuck it in the top pocket of my pack. Little zipper. This is where I typically keep my keys. So always make sure you have your car keys. I put them in a Ziploc bag just in case I sweat all over the place or it rains. Um, this is pretty secure, so you probably won't lose it. And I also like to keep, if I'm carrying personal ID or money, it'll go in the zippered pouch. And I won't open this while I'm on the fly. I'll open this while I'm stopped and can pay attention to what's going on. Lately, I've been carrying a GoPro as well. I just tuck it in this side pocket so that I can get fun videos for everybody to see. My other pocket, I'll typically put my cell phone in this pocket. I always carry lots of Ziploc bags for anything that I don't want to have wet. And this pocket will have things that I can take in and out while I'm moving. So the cell phone and, maybe a snack or something. I like to carry a little electrolyte bottle. The soft flasks I find sometimes get a little tricky for me personally, so I use this hard bottle, and I'll either put powder or electrolyte mix in it depending on how much water I'm planning to come across on the trail. but it slides right in the pocket and easy access because in the summertime things can get really hot, and I think it's important to have electrolytes with you just in case. I may also carry a Ziploc with electrolyte powder and use the bottle to mix on the fly while I'm out there. So there are, there are a million other packs on the market, but this is just the one that I'm showing you. I actually carry way more food than what I have in my pack right now, but I'll usually carry about 4 protein bars, a handful of gels. I love candy. I'm pretty freaking lazy, so I will just carry entire bags of candy. And I usually bring like 3 different kinds. My favorite, Sour Patch Kids, Swedish Fish, gummy bears. So I am definitely like a moving convenience store on the trail. But, again, all this stuff kind of fits into the easy access pouches in my pack so that I can grab those while I'm on the fly. I carry 2-liter bladder, fill it. In this particular pack, it slides right in the back. The only downfall is when you have as much crap in your pack as I carry, you actually have to remove most of the contents of your pack when you're refilling and putting your bladder back in. So definitely not the fastest thing in the world, but you're going to have all the gear that you need to survive. Now, as a trail runner, we're carrying a lot less gear than we would if we were hiking. And that comes with the basic understanding of you should have some sort of basic wilderness first aid training. It is worth every penny. It is worth spending a weekend of your time learning how to self-rescue and potentially save other people and how to use emergency gear properly. So, you won't be having the most comfortable night in the woods carrying what you're about to see in my pack. You're not going to have the Taj Mahal, you're not going to have hot meals, but you're also not going to die. You're going to be comfortable and you will have everything you need to basically get through the night alive. Probably uncomfortably, but you're going to survive. Map, dog ate this one, but really good to have a map in the area that you're going for multiple reasons. If you need to bail, if you get lost, if you get confused, sometimes between summer, fall, and winter, the trails look vastly different. There can be sections of blowdowns. Nothing beats having an actual map so you can take a look at intersections and figure out where you are. If you like to carry a compass, or you can use your watch. I know mine has a compass. That can be pretty tricky when you're down in the woods navigating with a compass, but it can also help. Um, Watches are kind of cool because you can look at what elevation you're at and figure out which contour line you're on. Um, the GPSs are also really cool for navigation, and the InReach has the ability to do that. Most of these watches do. There's apps for your cell phone, such as Gaia, and I've actually used Strava and used the heat maps to figure out, especially when I'm breaking trail in the winter. So lots of different ways to navigate. The beauty of a paper map is it's not going to fail you. It doesn't require a battery. Most of the nice maps that you get are pretty weather resistant. This thing, the dog chewed and it's still fine. So, there's nothing that can replace having a paper map. If you're going out for a long day, you're going to be in the woods and you don't have access to huts or clean water sources, this thing is pretty darn cool. This is the Be Free. It's a water filter. Different brands make all different kinds. Scoop the water up, do that. You can squeeze it out. You can fill your pack relatively quickly. You can drink. And this way you don't have to worry about sitting there with the old style pump and like pumping water out of a stream, which feels like it takes forever. Silty water can definitely make the filter clog. So try to always get water from the cleanest source possible. Puffy. When you're in the mountains, there are a lot of things that can go wrong and the weather can change drastically. This puffy's pretty cool. It's a Patagonia. I think most of these can fold up within themselves, but it's a lightweight synthetic puffy. And I like the synthetic clothes because if they get wet, they still keep you warm. Unlike down, where once it gets wet, you're kind of dealing with just a soggy wet jacket. But this thing, cool, packs up into itself, weighs almost nothing. But if I am in adverse conditions or have to spend the night on the trail, this thing is going to keep me pretty warm. Just to circle back to if you have to spend the night on the trail, ideally take off your wet clothes, especially upper body clothes, and I would just put like warm jacket on because your wet clothes are going to make you a heck of a lot colder and you're going to have a terrible evening. Even in the summer, hat, warm hat, some sort of buff, gloves, windbreaker, probably the most versatile thing you'll carry in your pack. And definitely get one that has a hood because there are so many times it's really windy out there and you can just cinch these things so just your eyeballs are sticking out. And if you're wearing sunglasses, then you are fully protected from the wind. Let's see, first aid kit. There are many different first aid kits out there. This thing's pretty cool. You'll just want to add some band-aids and maybe moleskin, but if something bad is going to happen to you in the mountains, you want to get something that has big gauze, something you can make a sling with. And this one's kind of cool. It's got like power tools and guns and things like that on it, which means it's for large wounds, which are typically the things you'll come across in the mountains. Um, some of the other first aid kits, they look really flashy. They're super expensive, but all they have in them are a few butterfly stitches, band-aids, and a couple things of um, like neoprene type things. So, take a look at what's in the pack. Make sure you get something that's appropriate for what you're planning to do. Headlamp. I don't care what time of year it is. After getting stuck in the woods at the end of a Prezi traverse a million years ago with a friend and having to come out in the pitch black because it took us 12 hours, I've never left without a light in my pack. Um, Having a light will make your life so much easier, especially if you're fairly close to the trailhead. Sun goes down, things happen. You might plan on being out there for 5 hours, and who knows, you might end up being out there all day. So, headlamp, pretty cool. This one's rechargeable. It's kind of my backup emergency light. If I think I'm going to be out there at night, I'll actually bring my headlamp that has batteries with some extra batteries, only because batteries aren't going to fail you. I've had these rechargeable lights fail me at the worst times possible, but in an emergency situation, um, they're pretty easy and lightweight to carry. TP, never know when nature's going to call. Um, there's different things you can carry, again, Ziplocs. Make sure you know how to appropriately go to the bathroom in the woods so that you're not pooping on the trail, leaving toilet paper everywhere. A lot of great resources. Leave no traces. Awesome. Emergency bivy sack. And I prefer this to a space blanket. This is basically like a sleeping bag made out of space blanket material. And again, if you have to spend the night in the woods or be laying down for several hours, this thing's awesome. It's, get out of your wet clothes, put on your puffy, whatever you have left, gloves, hat, and it's tiny and it hardly weighs anything. This could save your life. I have severe allergies to a couple of things. I carry an EpiPen with Benadryl, and the reason I carry the Benadryl is the EpiPen will only save my life for a few minutes. The Benadryl, ultimately, if I have a severe anaphylactic reaction, is what is going to save my life. The EpiPen is not going to save my life. It's just going to buy me time to get Benadryl in me. Again, another reason to take the Wilderness First Aid course is you're going to learn all sorts of things about stuff like that. And Solo Schools offers a bunch of them. You can go to their website and take one of their classes. And we also partner with Redline Guiding and host some through Solo. So many different opportunities and options for you to take advantage of taking a course and learning the skills you need to be safe in the mountains. I have dogs. When you have dogs, Pack and Paws, I love this thing. I've had to use it once. You can carry your dog like a backpack, and pretty sweet, because the last thing you want to do is have to try to get your dog out of the woods without any way to carry them. So this, you just put their paws in the holes, wrap it around them, wear them as a backpack, and you can safely get your dog out of the woods. Um, Even in the summertime, these things are amazing. You never know when you're going to need them. Weather could get really bad. It could snow. You could have to spend the night. And as silly as it sounds, carrying 1, 2, or 3 packs of these guys, they can definitely make a big difference in your day or your night. So pretty simple things to carry. Um, Obviously you want to personalize things for you and what you feel is best, but it's pretty amazing. I'll just show you my pile of stuff, the amount of things that you can fit in your pack. Doesn't really weigh a ton either. So obviously, as a trail runner, we're always concerned. We're like, oh my gosh, is this too heavy? Is it going to weigh me down? But if something were to happen to you or happen to a friend, it's better to carry an extra 2 pounds of gear and have the tools you need to be safe, to survive a night in the woods if need be, and to potentially help rescue yourself or a friend. There's a lot to be said about taking care of yourself in the mountains, and especially with how much Fish and Game is inundated with rescues lately. You can do your part in helping them not have to come out on the trail and spend all their time doing rescues. I don't know if you follow them on social media at all, but it seems like almost every day they're rescuing people. And some of the situations that they are put in are dangerous for the rescuers, but also situations that could have been prevented if somebody carried the proper gear and possibly took the proper classes to give them the tools that they need to get themselves safely out of the woods. So that's my talk on what's in my pack. So next time you see a trail runner running by, there's a good chance that they have most of the equipment that you see. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. You can shoot me an email, Christina@whitemountainendurance.com, or you can head over to one of our websites, or you can DM on social media and ask any questions. Hope you enjoyed this talk. Be safe. Have a great day.